So for fund balances for all funds, and this is total fund balance, not just general fund unassigned, this is the total general fund and total of all the other funds. So general fund is gonna go down by about $85,000 in total, leaving about just under 5.4 million in fund balance. Food service will have about 250,000, and it's up $300. Community service is about $88,000, going down by 7,900. Construction, again, as we spend down those proceeds, or it will go down to about 7 million, or about 12.75 million, lower than the previous year. For debt, we're going to increase our debt fund to about 217,000. We're required by law to tax levy an extra 5% of our anticipated principal and interest payments. Over time, the Minnesota Department of Education will start to pull that money back and return that to our taxpayers. It's just a safety net to ensure that the district can pay their principal and interest. And then we do have a scholarship fund, which holds a fund balance of about $50,000. We don't budget for revenue and expense in that scholarship fund, but we certainly maintain the fund balance in a separate account. As we look forward, so the first column is our projected for next year, fiscal 26. We're seeing the $85,000 for general fund as a deficit. So we're going to spend down in total. For fiscal year 27 and beyond, we're going to continue that pattern of spending down in our projection. So fiscal year 27, we're overspending our revenue by about 342,000. In fiscal 28, it jumps to 843,000. And fiscal year 29 goes to 1.2 million. These are the numbers that we'll work on over the coming year. Superintendent and I had a great conversation already in planning for how we address these deficit spends. We're going to need to bring these in line, and we'll start some kind of a budget process in the next year as we look at ways to continue to tighten that budget and control the spending as we move forward. There are other opportunities with revenue as well. We know there's some enrollment potential for gains in different programming. That would be wonderful for us to help to close that gap as well. So we'll look at both revenue and expense as we move forward, but we're certainly going to have to tighten our expenses in order to, I think, balance our budget going forward. And that's all I have for you this evening on the budget. Again, later on in the agenda, we're asking you to approve the fiscal 26 budget as presented, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you have.
Anyone have any questions? No. All right, I guess we're good. We don't have any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. All right, we'll move to committee and administrative reports. Melissa Tate. Do you want Mike?
I think you probably should.
I don't really have a lot. I don't have any numbers for you or anything like that. We've just been like closing up things at the elementary school and moving over, just kind of getting my life organized around the high school and figuring all that out. We've got some good meetings coming up in the future with some of the community colleges to just look at some potential of maybe increasing our offerings for college in the schools and some potential partnerships to try to get that AA back in house. So Beth and I are getting some of those meetings set up, so that's exciting. We did get notified that our ADSES grant was approved, so that's exciting for us. So we're looking at that, and we were told today that the reimbursement would be up to 78%. So that would be good. That allows us to add a little bit of staff. We applied for an ADSES grant and we were approved. So
What is that?
It's alternative delivery of specialized services. It's basically like intervention services, social workers, things that work in the student support systems. It just allows us to, it's paid out of special ed dollars. It's really to try to keep kids out of special ed is the intent of the ADSES grant. So we have had a little reduction in our title dollars, so it just allows us to bring staff on to maintain the current level of staff and do some additions of staff, but it really will cost us only about like 22% because we'll be reimbursed those costs from the state at 78%. So that was exciting news for us today. So we're just working out what that will look like. But that's all the excitement that I have, I think, going on just as I figure out what, it looks like at the high school.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Any questions? Go ahead.
I just want to say that I'm well aware that there's going to be great big cuts in special ed unless they come up with another way to get more funding. So I'm real concerned for anyone who is in special ed or their families, because this is a state thing. That there's 250 million, if I remember right, cuts coming up. So.
Thanks, Missy.
Thank you. Lisa,
Lisa will be absent tonight, so there's no presentation, but
Okay.
she's closing out the year. Joe, do you have a student presentations?
oh yeah, he's not on here. No?
He's like, I got nothing.
You're good, all right.
Why would I have a school presentation
A
if there is no
student.
school?
You might be doing something fun over the summer.
Yeah, that's great.
What do we know?
All right, Tim? Mike.
Yes.
It's time for our spring sports report. Seems like we just got done doing the winter, and here we are doing the spring sports report. Softball team completed their season with a 10-13 record under the coaching of Jeff Carey, the head coach in his 5th season, Brian Kershaw, Marissa Carey, and Mike Leahy, with 16 girls in grades 9 through 12. 17 girls were out for the junior high softball team. 3 of those girls were moved up to the JV, and TJ Kalulom and Lavina Hahn were the coaches. For the baseball team finished the season with a 6-13 record under 60-year head coach Phil Talmadge. His assistant coaches were Will Abbey, who is stepping down, Darren Kittleson, Paul Joslin, and Christian Kittleson were the assistant coaches for the team that had 20 players. Wyatt Levine was the head coach for the 7th and 8th grade team that had 9 players. Those 9 players combined with the 9 boys from Little Fork Big Falls to form a team so that both programs could play this spring. The boys golf team had 9 boys out for the varsity golf team, and they won the Section 7-2A academic title. So congratulations to those boys on their accomplishment. Zach Uso ended up qualifying for day 2 of the Section 7-2A meet. There were 5 boys out for junior high golf. The girls golf team also had 9 girls on the team, with one of those girls being in the junior high range. Both teams were coached by second-year head coach Charlie Anderson and Don Casaretto as his assistant. Nick Kaviak and Adam Matthews coached the junior high teams. The girls track and field team had their 4x200 relay team compete at the state meet last week. A team of Julia Dykstra, Claire Zika, Isla Hempstead, and Mary Versteeg qualified for the state meet, where they were seated 21st and took 21st place. Cheryl Hendrickson was in her 7th year as head coach, with Jen Erickson as the assistant of 25 girls, 5 of which were at the junior high level. The boys track and field team, they had 24 boys out for 4th year head coach John Sandberg, and Luke Zika was his assistant, with 3 of those 24 boys being at the junior high level. Dale Erickson was the head coach for the junior high teams. FHS had the right to host Dale Erickson. I mistyped that. Sorry about that, Dale Johnson. Sorry. Jeez Louise. Again, he was playing baseball this past week. Anyway, sorry about that. FHS hosted the Iron Range and conference meets here on May 13th, a very warm day with 10 schools competing, and we were able to get things done without too many issues. The speech team, they qualified, some of the members qualified for the state meet under 1st year head coach Sean Bowles. Eve Hempstead placed 14th in discussion, while Linnea Yont and Leah Bowe placed 22nd in dual interpretation. Trap team just received the trophies over there. Just got those. They placed second place in the conference during the regular season, and they placed second at the state 1A meet last Monday in Alexandria. Some thank yous, of course, Jody Lindvall, who's my assistant. She does a lot of the stuff for me with the POs and such. Always, of course, to Beth, Lisa, and Don, who are always there to bounce the ideas off of and talk about things. Beth Ann Slatinsky and the summer ball board, on all the coaches who work with our 375 kids that are playing summer ball this summer, and of course to the city staff who are taking care of the fields and making sure they are ready to go each and every day. The custodial staff here, spring wasn't too bad once we got things going. They got the fields into shape pretty quickly and things went pretty well there. Transportation, we are definitely in need of a over-the-road driver with Gene retiring. We need, thanks to Gene for everything he did this spring and winter after retiring and stepping up to fill that role, but we are in dire need of an over-the-road driver for our sports teams for next year. So hopefully somebody or some peoples will step up into that role. Of course, we had lots of game workers for the track meet that we had to get done here with the all conference meets with the Iron Range and the Arrowhead, and of course all the officials in town that take care of our kids. What about the kids? The great efforts that they gave this spring and working out, a lot of positives out there with what our kids did this spring. Maybe the records don't reflect that in some cases, but boy, I was really impressed with the way we played down the stretch in a lot of our contests. Thank you to the parents. Those spring schedules, with my kid going, not going, are they coming back? When are they coming back? Are they playing at noon today? Or are they playing at 4? It's just one of those things. So I can't say enough to the parents for doing that. And of course to the coaches who had to also go through all those schedules and make sure everything was taken care of. So thanks to all those people. Our fall season's not that far away. July 1st will be here and it'll be like, okay, it's time to kick it into gear. Practices will start on August 11th with our first scheduled home game, again being a volleyball game, this time against MIB on August 26th. Did talk with Principal Tate and we will be having homecoming the week of September 15th through 19th. So 3 home volleyball games that week, a home swim meet, and of course a home football game on Friday against Aikens. So any questions?
Dale?
Dale?
You missed the coaches for boys golf.
Well, they're the same as the girls.
Oh,
Both teams were coached by those individuals. Anything else?
Any other questions? No? All right, thank you. All right, Beth, you're next.
As we get ready to close out the year, my presentation won't be very long either. I just want to follow up to our CISO presentation, and I just want to say that CISO has been really remarkable to work with for not having a financial team on site outside of the district offices, and I really appreciate the opportunity to possibly continue to work with them through the referendum process. One of the things that I just want to bring to your attention is it's always interesting when you go into a new position and you have to start looking at budgets and you inherit, some of the practices that have been in the past and you start looking forward to the future. I don't think it's any surprise that enrollment plays a really big part on the dollars that come into our school district. And I think that's something that that I've been very passionate about since my arrival is we have to reconfigure how we educate our kids, and we also have to be cognizant and intentional about the numbers that we house within our district, but also within our community. And I believe it was a week or two ago, Roxanne, Dale, Ashley, and I went to the census meeting that was held over at the college. And we can see a very concerning pattern on what the projected population for the Coochin County area is going to look like. And there is a steady decline unless we start bringing in some additional opportunities for economic development within our community that will draw people in. With that being said, I want you to know that CISO and I, along with my administrative team, we've done a pretty close job at looking at how can we make cuts and look at future funding options that have the least impact on our students. And as you look at the different numbers from last year to the upcoming school year, this year to the upcoming school year, you can see that with the projection of going from $300,000 plus to $85,000 in what we would have in loss. I can tell you that that has been very methodical, and that has already been planned out how it will have the least amount of impact from our students. So those cuts or reshifting of dollars and where dollars are spent are directly correlated to what's already been planned for the next school year. And as you know, we are one of the very few districts that can make cuts from our staff. But with that being said, we know that that could look very different in the future if we don't look at how we do business and how we do business differently. Hence the many different plans and roadmaps that we're looking at rolling out in the next 1 to 3 years, in addition to having to make some really tough decisions as a school district and as a school board. And those decisions will come with kickback, they'll come with positive, but that's the role that we play as school board members and superintendents, school leaders, and teachers. And we have to make data-driven decisions. And I want you to know that as a superintendent of the school district, that's what will be done with the feedback and the active engagement of our school community, and that means our stakeholders, and also with the administrative team. I know that you're probably wondering, but then why are we hiring people? So one of the things that I want you to know is when you see new positions posted, it either has been somebody has left for a retirement or a new adventure in their teaching profession, or we have different dollars coming in that are grant funded. You won't see that in the job post, but we are not adding more to add more. We're just realigning where those dollars are coming from and making sure that we have to hire people that are aligned to the grants that we apply for. Hence, Missy was talking about the ADSIS grant. You're going to see that the position of our grant writer, my assistant, has paid for itself this year. And you need to know that we are exhausting every grant opportunity possible, so we're not taking away from our kids and our staff. But we also know that we are being tasked with infrastructure that is in pretty tough shape. And so we're really looking at opportunities that will best serve our school district as a whole. So as we look at the school attendance, I'm continuing to work on how we can deliver opportunities of educational modes to our community. The first year going into really looking at a high school model for our online learning. We're not opposed to opening K-8, but that is going to take some deeper investigation over the course of the summer. That being said, we will be applying to expand outside of the area in the year ahead. I talked to a few staff members. Missy and I need to spend some time talking to each other and how we can tap in to possibly working beyond just the constraints of International Falls. We are not the only school district looking at that because school attendance numbers are dwindling across the country. One of the other areas that is really important is talking to families about why they have left the district if they were part of our school district. So that, you know, as you know, there are possibly 200 kids that don't attend our district. I'm about 1/3 through the list, and I'll continue to work on that as part of my superintendent goals through the summer. We are continuing to talk about school safety and what we can do when it comes to accessing grants for that component, because obviously there's not enough dollars in the general fund to be able to tap into the things that we need to do and want to do to bring our facilities up to date. So that is an area that is probably number one on my platform for school grants, and Ashley is actively pursuing a number of different school safety grants at this time. Right now, we recently have been awarded the family bathroom, gender neutral bathroom that will be built on the pool wing. So our families who can come in don't just have the locker rooms to go to, they will have a family locker room because sometimes families are coming in with a number of different children, and it makes really a big barrier. In addition to the gender neutral bathroom option that we'll be able to provide within our school. If you didn't see the social media platform tonight for TrueStar and our school Facebook page, we have just been gifted $20,000 by TrueStar. TrueStar and I sat down, had the opportunity to talk about some of our infrastructure needs, and they were willing to apply for a grant that would contribute directly to our school district. And Kip Raboyne and I gotta think Ross Hammers just awarded us a check for $20,000. So we are incredibly appreciative that they felt that our district was important enough to invest in areas that we were really struggling with. And Bronco Arena is something that's number one on our list for preserving the facilities infrastructure because it is very old and we have a number of needs that we cannot keep up with there. So again, thank you to TrueStar Federal Credit Union. We are getting ready to start interviewing for our facilities manager on Wednesday, hoping to have that position solidified and in place on July 1st. Downsizing our mailing, we talked about that at the last board meeting, although we'll be having a more expansive back to school open house. On Thursday, I continue to have the Head Start conversation about having them move to our school site. We will have a proposal ready for the school board for the July meeting. As that information is disseminated, I will share that out with you early so you can ask questions prior to that meeting. And referendum update, we are getting ready to, well, the bid project is open. It closes on the 17th. We will have part of that presentation at the school board meeting in July, and then we'll have to hold a special school board meeting that same week to talk about the awards and who they'll directly go to. This round is looking very promising compared to last one, so I'm feeling very good about where we're going. That being said, August is the first point of contact that we'll have where we're going to start doing some construction when it comes to the sprinkler system and asbestos removal in certain parts of our buildings. And then we'll start the construction phase that will go throughout the school year in all of our facilities. Last but not least, we're going to start with our negotiation meetings with our bargaining units, and you're going to be receiving, those of you who are on the negotiating team, you'll receive an invite. We're going to start those conversations, and we're also going to be having a more expansive conversation on the insurance component of negotiations. So I look forward to working with those groups and the school board on that. Outside of that, we're closing up the year. It's been a great year. Really looking forward to the future. Though we have some tough decisions to make, as long as we work together, I think it can be done, and I think it can be done well. There will be bumps, but we'll get there. Outside of that, that's my report for tonight. Do you have any questions?
I just have a comment, but it has to do with the fact that I've been following the legislation for a lot this year, and all school districts in the state of Minnesota are going to be in deep trouble within a year. And we need to all be contacting our legislators, no matter what political party you're from. We're all for schools, and we need to be working to get our legislators to vote differently, because there are formulas that they're going to vote on that have to do with figuring out how dollars are going to be allocated to schools. And if we don't encourage our legislators to watch carefully and to vote correctly, we're going to have a lot of problems. So I hope everybody contacts their legislators.
I appreciate that comment, Roxanne, because I think one of the things we have to remember is, we are at the hands of MDE, and we have to remember that the dollars that are handed down to public education, that is really dictated by them. And we have access that we're losing out, by state, federal. We have access grants that are being taken away or cut back in specific areas. So when you see specific changes that will be rolled out in this next school year, from our early start to our calendar to programming, there's a reason that these decisions are being made. And I do encourage people to reach out to their legislators, and I encourage people to reach out to either me, a school board member, building principal, because sometimes the full picture or the full story is not presented when something is announced. And if there's questions or clarity is needed, I really encourage people to reach out to me, because I can give you more context as to why that decision is made. And it will help maybe give people a greater understanding of the why behind it. So thank you for saying that.
I'd like to piggyback on that too, and say that I'm going to try to come up with a way to help educate people a little bit. I know that it's hard if you say, oh, contact your legislator, and then you go, oh, help our schools, and that's it. What do? You don't know the details. I'm going to try to find a way to help people understand the details more, so they can have a conversation that they feel comfortable with their legislators, and it makes sense to them.
Thank you.
Anything else for Beth? All right, we'll move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Motion by Jess and a second by Rox to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? None? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. We'll move to action items. Under improving systems and structures to create a culture where all are welcome and supported. Resolution, acceptance of gifts and donations to it. Do I have a, I don't have it. Didn't print it.
There was a lot.
We will go ahead and, if you can grab it, and then we'll move to number 2 and we'll come back to it. So approve, the ISD 361 25-26 year adopted budget as presented by CISO. Do I have a motion? All right, a motion by Dale and a second by Tina to approve, the ISD 361 25-26 school year adopted budget as presented by CISO. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, number 3, approve the receipt of the letter by local 333 with the intent to negotiation with local 331. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jess.
I just want to make note it's local 331.
Okay, I was like, that's kind of odd. All right, I'll get it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tina. All right, so I have a motion by Jessica and a second by Tina to approve the receipt of the letter by local 331 with the intent to negotiation with local 331. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4, approve the leave of absence request for Sarah Staples for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion?
No motion.
Motion by Tina,
I'll second.
second by Dale. Any discussion? Right, I have a motion by Tina and a second by Dale to approve the leave of absence request for Sarah Staples for the 25.
Can I ask one question? I'm sorry.
No.
What happens in that situation? Do we hire a long-term sub or?
We'll post for a 1-year position.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, so I'll just, sorry. Motion by Tina and a second by Dale, to approve the leave of absence request for Sarah Staples for the 25-26 school year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve ISD 361 district-wide public sale, replace materials, goods, furniture, clothing and equipment, etc. on August 2nd, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Motion by Rox,
Second.
second by Jessica. Okay, we have a motion by Rox and a second by Jessica to approve ISD 361 district-wide public sale, replace materials, goods, furniture, clothing, and equipment on August 22nd. Is there any discussion?
Is there gonna be like a comprehensive list or something that comes out?
Yeah, there will. I was waiting for tonight, this afternoon's board meeting. It will be August 2nd. What it'll be, we have a number of rooms with excessive amounts of old equipment, old practice jerseys, things like that. We will hold the event at the bus garage. It's in dire need. We need to clear out some spaces. The broken items are being thrown away, but there will be a comprehensive list that will come out.
Awesome.
All right. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, approve the City of International Falls to use ISC 361 property for use of the firework display on July 4th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
A motion.
Motion by Tina,
Second.
second by Jess. Any discussion? I have a motion by Tina, a second by Jess to approve the City of International Falls to use ISD 361 property for the use of the firework display on July 4th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we'll go back to number 1, a resolution acceptance of gifts and donations. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that much.
Yes, okay. Second,
I'll second.
second by Tina. All right. Whereas school board policy 706 establishes the guidelines for the acceptance of gifts and donations to the district. Whereas the International Falls School District Board encourages the support of the district's educational programs through gifts or donations that meet the goals and objectives of the school district. Whereas Minnesota statute 465.03 states the school board may accept a gift, grant, or devise of real or personal property only by the adoption of a resolution approved by 2/3 of its members. Therefore, be it resolved, the School Board of International Falls Public Schools, ISD number 361, accepts with appreciation the following gifts, donations, or grants received by the school district. The following are Border Chevrolet GMC ECFE donation, $100, and Outdoor Day, $285. PCA donation for FES Movie Day, $2,350, and donation for bingo prizes, $250. Box tops for FES, $93. Green Tech Manufacturing kindergarten graduation snacks, $288.80. Bronco baseball boosters field compactor, $519.99. The Sport Shop National Bike to Work Week, 8 goodie bags. Prom donation, Tilson Bay apparel donation of $73, and Border Chevrolet GMC donation of $1,000. Teacher Appreciation Week, American Free Room, Borderland Jewelry, a $50 gift card, Border Bob's, $20 gift certificate, Beyond Aesthetics, gift basket, Border Chevrolet GMC sweatshirt, hat, and tumbler, Coffee Landing, $20 gift card, Cantilever, $20 gift certificate, Circle K, $20 gift card, Cozy Abode, gift basket, Chocolate Mousse, $15 gift certificate, Dunkin' gift cards, Glow North Day Spa, gift basket, Hardee's, 5 free sandwiches, the library, 10 $5 gift cards, No Place Like Home Again, gift basket, Orton's, 5 free car washes, Outdoorsman Headquarters, $25 gift card, Pick Me Flowers, a plant, Super One, $25 gift card, The Sport Shop, $25 gift card, Sammy's Pizza, 5 $25 gift certificates, Tractor Supply gift basket. And we have a motion by Rox and a second by Tina. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Whereupon the resolution was declared adopted. Thank you. All right, all we have left is adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Tina and a second by Jess to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.